Hello, church. I'm coming to you today to let you know of a survey that we're administering at Rock Hall Church in Wesley Chapel this week. You probably know, and most of you do, over the last several months that we've shared information with y'all in articles on our website and in a town hall meeting after worship. That's regarding some legislation which will be presented at our next General Conference of the United Methodist Church. This meeting is scheduled for August of 2022. The legislation is entitled A Protocol for Reconciliation Through Separation and Grace. It'll have a great impact upon the future of the United Methodist Church if it passes, and probably even if it doesn't pass. The provisions within the protocol will allow annual conferences and local congregations to freely disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church. And then they can affiliate with a new Methodist denomination. You can find more information about the protocol on our website. There'll be a link in the description of the video here that'll get you to more information if you want to read that, if you haven't already. But you need to be aware that the vision of the post-separation United Methodist Church, that is, those churches that don't disaffiliate, is to enact policy changes that would allow annual conferences to ordain gay and lesbian people and allow local churches to hold same-sex weddings. That's what this separation is all about. We've also shared information about the new Methodist denominations, both the traditional and the progressive, their theological commitments, their visions for the future. All of that has been shared on our website, linked below. This is a time to be informed, for you to be informed, but also to let our church leaders know what you think. The leaders of your church want to make plans in keeping with the heart of their membership. So please, let them know your thoughts. As you do, I'd like to go over 3 of the questions that are in the survey. The first one is pretty straightforward. It asks this: current United Methodist policy does not allow annual conferences to ordain gay and lesbian people, nor allow local United Methodist churches to hold same-sex weddings. Which of the following best describes your view of the current policy? You're then presented with 5 options. Number 1, I strongly support the current policy. 2, I somewhat support the current policy. 3rd, I somewhat disagree with the current policy. 4th, I strongly disagree with the current policy. 5th, I haven't decided my views on the current policy. So this question asks your agreement with what has been the clear policy in the United Methodist Church for the last 40 years. The next question asks your thoughts on how you might respond to a change in that policy. It reads this way. It says, if the current United Methodist policy were changed, if it were changed, it hasn't been, but if it were, to allow annual conferences to ordain gay or lesbian persons and local churches to hold same-sex weddings, how would you most likely respond to your local church having gay or lesbian clergy or holding same-sex weddings? How would you respond to your church if your church did this? This is how you would think, how you would respond if the policy changed. This time there are 4 choices. First, I would strongly object and would likely withdraw my support and my presence if my local church had gay or lesbian clergy or same-sex weddings. Second, I would somewhat object and might withdraw my support and presence if my local church had gay or lesbian clergy or same-sex weddings. Third, I would somewhat approve and might withdraw my support and presence if my local church were not willing to have gay or lesbian clergy or same-sex weddings. And fourth, I would strongly approve and would likely withdraw my support and presence if my local church were not willing to have gay or lesbian clergy or same-sex weddings. Again, this question refers to if the policy were changed in the future, how you might respond. Sure, the circumstances can change, but how might you think you would respond? And finally, the last question I like to describe is question number 9. It reads this way: which statement best describes your support for the denominational affiliation of our church? In other words, given the protocol for separation, which would you like to see your church do? First, staying affiliated with the United Methodist Church, the denomination that plans to allow annual conference to ordain gay or lesbian persons and to give local churches the freedom to determine whether or not to hold same-sex weddings. Secondly, you would disaffiliate from the United Methodist denomination to affiliate with a new traditionalist Methodist denomination that will not ordain gay or lesbian persons nor allow affiliated churches to hold same-sex weddings. Or you may say that you recommend disaffiliating from the United Methodist denomination in order to affiliate with a new progressive Methodist denomination that would ordain gay and lesbian clergy and would allow same-sex weddings in affiliated churches. Another option is that you recommend disaffiliating from the United Methodist denomination and becoming an independent, non-denominational church. Finally, or I guess a fourth option is that you equally support any of the above decisions. Or finally, that you do not know which decision that you most strongly support. This question is basically, if it were up to you, and you alone, given your understanding of the Bible and God's plan for the church, what would you see us do? These are tough questions, but your responses are important. They'll be anonymous. We ask you that you would please share your thoughts with your church leadership. If you have questions about the questions, please don't hesitate to contact me directly by email or by calling the charge office. Our number here is 410-639-2144. The link to the Crossroads survey will be open until September 15th. If you know of someone without access to reliable internet service that can't complete the survey online, please let the charge office know so we can, as soon as possible, so that we can make sure a paper copy of the survey is sent to them directly. Finally, I'd ask you to join me in praying for our denomination and our church over the coming weeks and months. There will be many difficult decisions to be made, and we will need God's Spirit and His grace to see us through. Know that I'm praying for you all, and I pray that God blesses you as you seek to follow Him faithfully into the future as the body of Christ. God bless you.